Mudire, Nastaprayeshu Vadeshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, Paripramashrute, Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki, Krishna Swadamo Bhagave, Deha-Mahanidhi, Kalanashta Drishamesha, Pranarkipalodika, Sharayadna Sarami, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sarvasamrita Churtasya, Nanyadasya Pratikvache, Krishna Tuliya Bhagavata, Vivasarvashaya, Pradishoke Pradikshaya Namatikaya, Premaya Bhagavata, Krishna Shriyanga, Tate Ganinata Gopya Krishna Ranga. Okay, this is Saturday Bhagavatam class, first canto, chapter 3, continuing session. What's the date today?
28.
September 28th. So, does anyone remember the last verse we had? We're on chapter, I think we're on chapter 5, actually. Page 208. Because last week we talked about samskaras and impressions from last life that carry over to this life. And so, Gopalji, why don't you read the Sanskrit verse on 208?
Navaijano jatu katanchana gaje mukunda sevyam gayadanga samshrutim smaran mukundam gripagohanam punar vihatumiche narasagrahojana.
Translation.
Oh, the person who serves Mukunda will never under any condition return to the material world. Unlike practitioners of other processes, remembering the embrace of Krishna's lotus feet, eager for the taste he has experienced, he will not desire to give up those feet again.
Vishwanath Chakravarti has a long commentary, almost two-page commentary. And I'll just read some highlights of the commentary. He says, the person who serves Mukunda, Sri Krishna, never returns to samsara, because the devotee experiences the fruit of happiness and distress directly given by the Lord. So he's explaining about any suffering or enjoyment we experience is not due to karma, it's directly arranged by Krishna. Because karma is under the supervision of Paramatma. The whole material energy and everyone in the material energy is controlled by the Paramatma. But when one surrenders to Krishna, Paramatma appears as Krishna in the heart. So Paramatma is only in charge of Bahiranga Shakti, and conditioned Nityabhata Jivas. But when it's a devotee who surrenders to Krishna, accepts Krishna as the goal of life, he comes under the Antaranga Shakti. What is the two aspects of Antaranga Shakti that are controlling the devotee? What are they?
Ladini and Sambit.
Ladini Shakti and Sambit. Ladini represents Radharani, and Sambit represents Vasudeva Shri Krishna. So now everything that happens is happening personally. It may feel like karma, but it's not karma. So that's what he says. He says, the devotee, when one surrenders to Mukunda, never returns to samsara. Because samsara is where you're experiencing the good and bad fruits of your karma. But we don't have that anymore. That's because the devotee experiences happiness and stress, but one experiences all the happiness and distress given by Krishna. I really say everything is Krishna's mercy. I'm really suffering. What mercy I'm getting. So, I remember the expression we heard when we first joined spiritual mission. The devotee said, not only getting Mahaprasad is mercy, but getting sick and getting pain and distress is also mercy. Generally we think it's mercy when we get Jagannath Mahaprasad, or someone brings some Mahaprasad for wrong, he says, oh, mercy, mercy. But also suffering is mercy. He says the Vaishnavas do not have rebirth by karma. It's a Padma Puran. This is a verse on page 208. This is from it's called the Shruti Suti, the prayers of personified Vedas, chapter 87, verse 40. When a devotee realizes Krishna, one no longer cares for good or bad fortune arising from past pious or sinful acts. It is Krishna alone who controls the good and bad fortune. So we think, wow, my suffering is special. Your suffering is caused by Paramatma and your bad karma. But my suffering is caused by Krishna, my heart. And it's devotion, not karma. Well, look like your suffering is me. No, but our attitude, our response to suffering is different. We praise Krishna for giving us suffering. But the non-devotee, he curses God for suffering. Why bad things happen to good people? There are whole books about it. We say, oh, why bad things happen to devotees? Oh, well, how fortunate I am. I'm a lucky guy, a lucky girl, because Krishna's favoring me. Queen Kunti prays in the same Bhagavatam, first canto, put me in suffering again and again, because then I always remember you. In World War II, they had an expression, there's no atheist in a foxhole. What's a foxhole? not the hole in the ground where foxes live, but soldiers, when they're fighting a war and they're shooting rockets and bombs, they dig holes in the ground. And they jump in the hole and get protected from the explosion. The explosion happens above ground. It blows up buildings and everything, trees knocked down. If you're up above ground, you get knocked down, but you're in a foxhole. So when there's no atheists in a foxhole, so when the bombs are dropping, everybody's afraid. When the war's over, then it's party time. No more praying. So there's no atheists in a foxhole. So when it gets tough, everyone prays. There's a phrase in Bengali, which I don't know the Bengali. They say most people turn to God and pray to God when they're suffering. That's the first part. And the second part is, but if we turn to God and pray to God even when we're enjoying, then we won't suffer. He said most people only pray when they're suffering, but if you pray even when you're not suffering, you won't suffer. So that's the idea. Then he talks about, on page 209, Vishnu talks about rasagraha, means one who's eager to taste ras. When one gets a taste of Krishna by chanting holy name, by kirtan, by studying philosophy, by meditating on Krishna's form, or his qualities, or his pastimes, that person, that devotee becomes haunted like a ghost. Rasa ghost. Ghost of rasa. That's what he says. He can't give up that taste of rasa. The meaning is then, one continues to worship and serve Krishna and gradually passes through the stages of Nishtha, Ruchi, and comes to Baba. Actual spiritual rasa is experienced at the platform of Baba. However, even from the first day of worshiping Krishna, there is certainly a portion of tasting rasa in a very covered form. So even a new devotee is way far away from attaining Baba Bhakti, is experiencing some taste by serving Krishna, some rasa, some happiness. And next verse, it just talks about Narada, of course, Narada Muni speaking now. He's speaking to Vyasadeva. So page 211, Krishna quotes a verse from Chandogya Upanishad, Charyavan Purusha Veda. One who has a guru will know the truth. That's a very famous verse from Upanishads. Charyavan. Charyavan means one who possesses, one who has, one who's in contact with a guru, with a charya. Then that Purusha, that person will know. Veda, Veda means know. That person will know the reality, know the absolute truth. Look at verse 22 on page 212. Read the translation.
The unfailing cause of perfection from men's austerity, study of the Vedas, performance of sacrifices, chanting of mantras, practicing jnana, and giving charity is defined by the wise as glorifying the qualities of Krishna.
Yeah, so Vishnu's commentary, he says one becomes successful by bhakti as you're giving up all dharmas. Dharma means duties and rites and rituals and actions that we have to perform in particular varna that we're in. Brahmins have particular activities, Vaishyas, Kshatriyas, Shudras, Brahmacharis, single people, married people, and the renounced people. They all have different duties and different actions they have to perform, which are described in Dharma Shastra. But you take the bhakti, you don't have to pay any attention to all those. Just do bhakti. Bhakti will adjust everything perfectly. Just spend all your time glorifying Krishna, and Krishna will adjust everything. Vishnu quotes a verse from 11th Canto, chapter 20, verse 32 and 33. How all the results that you can get by austerity, by developing knowledge, detachment, your mystic yoga, giving charity, can all be achieved simply by bhakti. According to this sloka, Vishnu says, all dharmas are unnecessary because the performance of Krishna Bhakti is the conclusion of all Shastra. Madhusudan, Vishnu, of course, Madhusudan Saraswati, one great commentator from about 800 years ago, he says all Shastra statements conclude in understanding Bhagavan. Now look at the next verse, page 214. Narada Muni is describing his own personal life story to Vyasadeva. So he says, in a previous kalpa of Brahma, I was born as a maidservant's son. I was engaged in serving sadhus during Chaturmasya, and they were studying the Vedas. So the commentary of Vishnu, he says, there's no cause for pure bhakti other than mercy of Krishna bhaktas. Austerity and other processes are not the cause of bhakti. To illustrate this, Narada recounts his previous birth. He was engaged in serving bhakti yogis in one place. So these devotees taught Narada Muni as a young boy, young child, Narada, or whatever. They taught him how to do bhakti. And then next verse explains why the sages were merciful to Narada Muni. Even though he was a boy, he developed sense control. He gave up playing like a child and all agitation. He became obedient and served attentively and spoke little. Vishnu says in the commentary, there's two types of mercy. A very interesting commentary, page 215, 216. The sages that Narada was serving didn't show any partiality in giving mercy. By the mercy of the sages, Narada Muni developed good qualities. So on the bottom of the page he says there's two types of mercy. One which is caused by seeing the qualities of the candidate to give mercy to. The other is by seeing it's not affected by seeing qualities. So what Vishnu is making a commentary here, that the great devotees may give mercy if they see someone qualified to give mercy to them. Someone's not qualified, they won't give mercy. So that means you have to be pretty fortunate even to get mercy. But some Vaishnavas don't make any discrimination, whether you're qualified or unqualified. That's the example of that, the greatest example of that is Srila Prabhupada. Because by qualification, Adhikar, the Western people, Western devotees in America and Europe, etc., didn't have any qualification to receive Diksha. If you read the Hari Bhakti Vilas, it describes the qualification to receive Diksha. One is you have to be born in Varnashram family. So anyone born outside India doesn't have the qualification to even receive mantra Diksha from a guru. This is all pure mercy of Nitai Gauranga and Vaidya. I wait to initiate Haridas Thakur and what's the book? The way to Prakash describes how he took Diksha from the way to Charya, Haridas Thakur. So he was born in a Muslim family which is considered outside Antyaja, outside of Varnashram system. So he wasn't qualified to get Diksha. But not only did the way to Charya initiate him, but during this time of the year, during this Shraddha Paksha, this is the time for worshiping Pitri Paksha, this Ashwini Maya, these 2 weeks. The Vajracharya made elaborate pujas for his ancestors. In the Shraddha Paksha, the plate of bhoga that was offered to Vishnu and offered to the ancestors, the first plate is supposed to be given to the leading Brahmin in the assembly. But the Vajracharya broke the protocol. He called Haridas to come take the plate. And all the Brahmins were there. What is this? They're all in Shantipur, Vajracharya's house. They felt insulted. We're the Brahmins, we're the Purohits, we did all this food. And he's calling this outcast to give the plate to. And so there was a whole discussion. The Brahmins had a discussion with Haridas, with Vajracharya, which is told in Chaitanya Bhagavat. The Vajracharya convinced him that Haridas is more than a Brahmin, because he's serving Krishna and chanting Krishna's name. Famous section of Chaitanya Bhagavat. So that shows the Vajracharya is not judging someone by the material qualities they have from birth. He's freely giving mercy to everyone. So all Gaudiya Vaishnavas are known as Vaishnava Kripambudhi. Ambudhi means ocean, Kripa means mercy. Vaishnavas are ocean of mercy. They freely give mercy to everyone. They don't consider caste or birth or varna or ashram or anything. If one is inquisitive about Krishna, wants to be a devotee, then they get the mercy of the Vaishnava. Now look at page 217. He tells more how he got the mercy. Read the Sanskrit.
उच्छिष्टलेपान् अनुमोदितोद्विजैः सकृत्स्मपुञ्जे तदपास्तकिल्बिषा एवं प्रवृत्तस्य विशुद्धचेतसा तद्धर्म एवात्मरुचिप्रजायते.
Translation read.
One time only I happened to eat their food remnants with their permission. All obstacles to bhakti disappeared by that. Having developed an inclination for bhakti, being pure in mind, taste for devotional processes inevitably developed in my mind.
So here he's attributing, he was living all these great bhakti yogis, all these great Vaishnavas, he was serving them along with his mother. And he asked those daughters, he said, "Can I eat your food remnants left on your plate?" He asked permission. And they gave permission, and it totally transformed him. All the obstacles to devotion were eliminated just by taking the Mahaprasad of the Vaishnava. Narada Muni tells yesterday, one time I ate some rice which was stuck to one of their dishes. By that little bit of rice, all my obstacles were destroyed. And I was effortlessly able to practice the limits of bhakti, Shraddha and Kirtan Smarana, just by taking a little food remnants. Having developed a tendency for bhakti by eating devotees' food, it applies to everyone else as well. I developed a taste, Ruchi Prajayate, for hearing and chanting in the mind. So just see the value of remnants of Vaishnava. You get a taste, you get a Ruchi for hearing and chanting about Krishna. That's the base of Bhakti Bhajan. That's the base of attaining perfection. Basic sadhana is hearing and chanting by Krishna's Nam, Rup, Gun, and Leela. So that can be happened just by a bite. Take a bite of remnants of Vaishnava, a miracle can happen. That's pretty interesting. It's a nice story. This whole chapter 5 is the story of Narada Muni, how he became a devotee. Page 220. He says, although I was only a young boy, I developed Krishna prema. I was humble, sinless, filled with faith, self-control, and willing to serve. The sages were very affectionate to me. They taught me the confidential secrets of bhakti, as taught by Krishna himself. Verse 221. Yayavaham Bhagavato Vasudevasya Vedasha Mayanabhavam Avidam Yena Gachanti Tatvaram. By this spiritual knowledge, I, Narada Muni, understood the influence of the spiritual material energies of Vasudeva, Yadikarta. By this understanding, devotees attain Krishna's abode. So that's what he's saying. By spiritual knowledge, by accumulating spiritual knowledge, you can attain perfection and go to Krishna. Commentary by Vishnu. By the knowledge I attained from the Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavatam from the great sages, I understood the influence of Krishna's Chit Shakti, Kripa Shakti, and Achit Shakti of the three gunas, and the influence of knowledge of Krishna's power and sweetness, Mayanabhavam. Page 222. Later in the Bhagavatam, we find the word Maya may mean Chit Shakti, Achit Shakti, knowledge or mercy according to the context. And it goes on several verses talking about the relationship between karma and gyan. Page 226. Bottom paragraph, it says, by karma mishra bhakti, one achieves gyan mishra bhakti. From platform of gyan mishra bhakti, one achieves bhava for Krishna, rati, along with liberation. This is called Shanta Bhakti. Is understood from the following verse. Amaramas Shamunio Nirgranta Urukrame Kurvanya Haitakam Bhaktim Etam Bhuta Guna Hari. It's page 226. Some sages or Admiramas are beyond scripture, false ego and rules. Even they practice pure bhakti to the master of pure bhakti, Krishna, since Krishna possesses the qualities attractive to them. So Krishna is so attractive. Button press. I don't know, is this on? Is this on or what? Green lighting soon, yeah. I think it was running on battery, that's why it's so weak. Right. So, now so the sages, they not only gave him knowledge, they also gave him mantra diksha. What mantra did the sages give to Narada Muni? From the book. Look at page 227. That's the answer. Oh no, Bhavate Tubhyam Vasudevaya Dhimhi Pradubna Nanrudaya Namah Sankarshanaya Cha. So it's a mantra to glorify the Chaturvyuha of Krishna. Vasudeva Sankarshan Aniruddha and Pradubna. So that was his mantra. What's our mantra?
Gopal.
Gopal mantra. Diksha mantra is Gopal mantra. How many syllables is it? How many?
16.
18 syllable Gopal mantra. So, commentary Vishnu, he said that Narada Muni is revealing the personal Diksha mantra that he got from his gurus. So the whole story of Narada Muni, which in first Canto chapter 5 and 6, describes attaining perfection by his sadhana. What's that one? Squirrel riot.
It's right.
That's a big feature over here. Squirrel watching. I just charge 100 rupee entry fee. If you want to come watch squirrels for 2 hours, that'd be 100 rupees. If you buy a monthly pass, you get a discount. They jump, they run, they fly, they wrestle, they kiss. They do all kind of wild stuff. Our bodies are like that. But
It made sound again.
they fell out. So that's the mantra. First Canto, chapter 5, verse 37 is the Diksha mantra the sages gave to Narada Muni. So read next page 228. Using that mantra to indicate the four forms of Bhagavan, one worships the Murti, it is the subject of the Dhyan mantra, the Lord worthy of worship. That person is worthy of being seen. So the mantra is called Mantra Murtikam. Murti means form of the Lord. So first we perceive the Lord's form in the Nam Rup. By chanting Diksha mantra, Gopal mantra, Kam Gayatri, we chant those mantras we receive from Diksha, and those mantras are called Mantra Murtikam. It says here. Mantra Murti. First line, first chapter, verse 38. Mantra Murtikam. So the mantra is the form of Krishna. So he's explaining how he chants the mantra. The form of Krishna makes his appearance. So he says, I chant that mantra, and gradually I get a realization of myself. I attain mystic cities, and finally attain prema for Krishna. Now chapter 6 is Narada Muni attains perfection. So did Narada Muni practice Vaidhi Bhakti or Raghunaga Bhakti?
Vaidhi Bhakti.
Vaidhi Bhakti, correct. So this is very applicable to every devotee who practices Vaidhi Bhakti. They should study these chapters 5 and 6. It describes the life story of a sadhaka who attained perfection, attained prema, by practicing Navada Bhakti like I'm practicing. So one day, Narada Muni's mother died, and Narada Muni took off. He left the village. He went traveling. It describes how he passed mountains and forests and all these things. Look at page 236. Read that translation.
Passing by mountains colored with gold and silver, trees with branches broken by elephants, pools with fresh water, and lakes used by the devatas, beautified by bees wandering about, awakened by the sounds of birds. All alone, I saw a huge, repulsive, fearsome forest, dense with reeds, cane, clumps of sara grass, kusha grass, and hollow bamboo, which was the playground for snakes, owls, and jackals.
Sounds like fun, huh? He's a 6-year-old kid, and he's wandering through the forest alone because he had realized Krishna, omnipresence. He says, I wasn't surprised, I didn't have any fear in seeing those fearful things because my mind was absorbed in tasting the sweetness of Krishna. I bathed the river, I took rest. Next page. He was sitting at the base of a peepal tree. He concentrated on the Paramatma. He meditated on the mantra he received from those sages. He contemplated, he meditated on the Paramatma situated in his mind. He developed prema, so he went from adopted liberty and eventually attained prema just by chanting his mantra. Verse 16. So he started experiencing ecstatic symptoms while meditating on the field of Krishna. He started crying. tears of great longing. And gradually Krishna appeared in his mind. Commentary of Krishna. He said, I meditated in my mind. My mind was full of prema. And gradually, step by step, Krishna appeared before me. First, Krishna appeared in my heart. Then he appeared in my mind, my nose, my ear, and eyes, so I could experience the fragrance of Krishna's celestial body. I heard the sound of his ankle bells. I saw the beauty of his face. So what happened? He had Sakshat Darshan of Vishnu. I broke out in thrill bumps. Thrill bumps appeared on my skin. I was filled with delight. I fainted out of bliss. Suddenly I could not see Vishnu's form anymore. I became agitated from the sorrow of separation. I became despondent, like someone who lost a great treasure. I was desiring to see the form of Krishna again. I fixed my mind and my heart and meditated intensely, but I didn't get to see him again. I endeavored sincerely to see Krishna, but he didn't appear to me, but he appeared in the Akashvani. Voice in the sky spoke to me with affection. What did Vishnu say to Narada Muni? He said, in this body you will not see me again. So that's certainly how it happens. Sadhakas get one darshan of Krishna. Can you turn this fan off? This top button. Top button.
Middle.
No, it's the top one. No, the top one, that's that one. Oh, turn that one back on. I'm sorry, I made a mistake.
Monkey case.
Thank you. Monkey? That's the extra 10 rupees on your ticket. You only want a ticket to see squirrels. You want to see monkey, you have to pay 10 rupees more. Vishnu's commentary. I had experience of Vishnu's sweet-sounding words by my ears. Because Narada Muni had bhakti arising from Vaidhi sadhana, he had realization of the sweetness of Krishna's fragrance, beauty, and speech in his present body. The complete experience of other types of sweetness, the touch and taste, will be experienced in the future in a spiritual body. What did I say? What did I say?
The complete experience of Krishna will happen in future when he gets into the...
In Sadhaka in our Sadhaka how can we experience Krishna? By sight, by nose, and by ears. Rupa, sight means Rupa, you'll see the form of Krishna. And you hear his ankle bells, or hear his words, and smell, Gandha. So Rupa, Shabda, and Gandha. But two sense experiences we won't have until we get our Siddha Deha. Touch and taste. The embrace of Krishna Krishna kissing our forehead, kissing our lips, etc. That'll happen when we attain perfection. Krishna says, those two senses experiences we had in the spiritual body Siddha. By the sweet words of Vishnu, Vishnu removed all types of lamentation and suffering which arose by not seeing him. Amazing. So that text 22 on page 241 explains why Krishna gives darshan to his devotees. Read the translation. Well, here's the question. Why does Krishna give one darshan to a sadhaka? If a sadhaka attains Baba, he's eligible for darshan. You may have darshan of Baba Bhakti or Prema Bhakti. But one darshan. Why does he do that? Read the verse. Krishna tells.
O sinless Narada, I showed myself once to produce a desire in you to see me. The devotee so desiring me gradually becomes freed of all material desires.
So even in Baba there may be some subtle material desires, but still you can get darshan. Read the commentary.
But just show yourself.
Narada Muni replies to Vishnu. Vishnu says, I'm going to show you once. Narada says, but show yourself one more time. He said, no, only one time. Read.
Seeing me only once is enough to produce desire for me. By only slight increase in longing, prema will not develop to the taste of youthfulness in a person having somewhat weak prema. My rule is that I show myself one time only to a person practicing in his present body, who has developed prema. The infant state of prema in the sadhaka's body matures to a youthful state in the Siddha Deha by an increase of prema arising from longing in separation. That youthful prema allows the devotee to see me constantly and serve me directly. I alone and not my devotee know the process of fulfilling the desires of my devotee. You, who simply desire me, even without having seen me, will become free from all desires for material enjoyment. This statement does not actually apply to Narada, since he did not have any material desires, being at the level of prema already. But saying this, the Lord shows the nature of devotion. Additionally, by saying this, the Lord increases the humility of Narada.
Read the Sanskrit next verse.
Satsevaya dirghayapi jata mai dridamati hitva vadyam imam lokam ganta majjanatamasi.
Translation.
By serving the devotees for even a short time, your intelligence became firmly fixed in me. When you give up this body of low birth, you will become my associate.
See the power of Vaishnava Seva. Hari Guru Vaishnava Seva. By serving devotees for a short time, your intelligence will become firmly fixed in Krishna. That's a good deal. Then read the next translation.
Your intelligence being absorbed in me will never be destroyed. Even at the time of creation and destruction of the living entities, by my mercy, your memory of the previous kalpa will not be destroyed.
Wow. That's pretty frightening. To remember all your previous kalpas. I like to forget it myself. Okay. He talks about how he chanted. He began to chant the names of the Lord. He was waiting for it. He's just passing his time, waiting to reunite and leave this world and go to Krishna. Then, page 245, verse 27, Narada Muni speaking to Vyasadeva, he says, "Oh Vyas, I concentrate my mind on Krishna. I was pure in mind. The time of receiving my spiritual body occurred simultaneously with giving up material body, like lightning flashing simultaneously with lightning." So what happened was when he died, he got Siddha. So a lot of people in spiritual missions don't have any idea they're Siddha. They're doing Bhakti Bhajan. If they perfect their Bhakti, they'll get a Siddha at the time of death. So that's pretty reassuring. The whole story of chapter 5 and chapter 6, the story of Narada Muni's attaining perfection, is great source of enthusiasm for devotees that have gurus who don't give Siddha. Because it shows without receiving from a guru, Krishna directly gives the Siddha to one who attains perfection in Vaidhi-sadhana. Vaidhi-sadhana means hearing and chanting, remembering Krishna, and becoming pure of heart, and when you get the spiritual light in time of death. So this is a nice example. The specific verses, first Canto, chapter 6, verse 28, Narada Muni describes how he got his Siddha. Prayujamani Mahitam Shudam Bhagavatim Tunam Arabdha Karma Nirvani Nevatat Panchabhuta Bhautika. Panchabhotika body means this body made of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. That's Panchabhotika. That was given up. He died and received Siddha simultaneously. Prayujamani means it was awarded, it was given to me. It was brought from Vaikuntha. Vishrabha Siddha. Giving up my material body and attaining a spiritual body were simultaneously. That's pretty amazing. It's just like when we sleep, we give up our gross body lying in a bed, and we enter our soul, our mental body, and we dream. Some people dream they're flying in the sky, right? Lots of people dream they're flying in the sky. People that are pitta, they dream forest fires. Some fires there. People that are pitta kapha, they dream about water. They have water dreams, sailing boats and swimming or drowning or whatever. So that's a whole different body, our dream body, our soul body. Then we come back to this gross body when we wake up. But this body is spiritual body. This body, we drop this physical body and get a spiritual body. Simultaneously. In the text at page 247, Vishnu's commentary. He says, Prabdha karmas do not remain for devotees who develop prema bhakti. By practicing pure bhakti, destruction of prabdha karma takes place during sadhana bhakti. Because the verse from his Canto, an outcast person becomes immediately free from karma just by one time chanting Krishna's name, Hare Krishna. Finish. He quotes Namastikam by Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami glorifies the holy name. He says, holy name, you appear one time and all my prarabdha karma is destroyed. That's pretty good. So let's see. What else we have here? Page 252. How did Narada Muni get his vina? From a music shop? Chandi Chowk. How did he get his vina?
Krishna presented.
Krishna presented. It's told in Linga Purana, page 252. Vina was given by Krishna. He says, when I sing Krishna's glories, Krishna makes that place, makes any place he touches holy. And Krishna is attracted to the house who's singing his glories. And Krishna quickly appears in my heart as if being called. So Vishnu's commentary says, Krishna goes wherever his glories are chanted. That's why I asked the devotees, we ask the devotees to chant 10 minutes Harinam Sankirtan every day as a family. And Krishna will come to you. So he likes to hear his glories chanted. So every day you should get Kartal, Mridanga, Dolak, and chant for at least 10 minutes a day, every day, together as a family. Jiva Goswami comments, why is Krishna come? It's not because Krishna is egotistic, he's attracted to hear his own glories. But he said, he comes to you, comes to the place where someone's chanting to give his mercy to the devotee. He comes to give mercy to them. That's why when devotees sit together and chant congregationally, Harinam Sankirtan, everyone feels blissful. Everyone feels light and joyful and detached from the heavy burden on the material body and the heavier burden of the material mind. It's like they fly off our shoulders. We feel blissful like Harinam Sankirtan. He says when I chant Harinam Sankirtan, that Harinam becomes like a boat for crossing the Bhava Sindhu, the ocean of material existence. Page 255. He talks about Kevala Bhakti. It's practiced by a person who doesn't have any desire, Nishkam. Kevala Bhakti is also called Ananya Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, Nirgun Bhakti. Or Uttam Bhakti and Akinchana Bhakti. They're all describing the same thing. This type of Bhakti gives prema as a result. Pradanya Bhakti is classified as Karameshwar Bhakti. It's practiced by those that will produce bhava and liberation for some. So he says, he concludes his commentary, that only two types of bhakti are accepted, Kevala and Pradana Bhuta. Okay. That's chapter 6. 5 and 6 is the story about Narada Muni. Chapter 7 is Ashwatthama. So now it describes how Vyasadeva entered meditation after hearing from his guru Narada Muni. Vyasadeva entered a samadhi trance. Page 198. Let's look at turn back to 198. Explains this first Canto, chapter 5, verse 13. It explains how Vyasadeva entered samadhi. Last line, you see the fourth line. Samadhi anusmara vichesita. Anusmaran, he absorbed in meditation, moment to moment meditation, remembering the pastimes of Krishna, and entered a state of samadhi. In that state of samadhi, he wrote the Bhagavatam. That's why the Bhagavatam is called Samadhi Bhashya. It's the language of samadhi. So we must have heard we use that term. Vyasadeva was in samadhi when he wrote the second edition of the Bhagavatam, where he brought out the rasa of the Brij-Vasis. The present Bhagavatam that we're studying is the second edition of the Bhagavatam, revised edition written by Vyasadeva after being advised by his guru Narada Muni. So verse 1 chapter, first Canto, chapter 5, verse 13 describes Vyasadeva samadhi anusmara to vichesitam. Vichesitam means the characteristic, the glories of Krishna. Narada Muni instructed Vyasa to meditate on pastime of Krishna, continually in samadhi. He did that to concentrate his mind. So what's the difference between Patanjali's samadhi described in Yoga Shastra and Bhakti samadhi? What's the question?
What is the difference between the Patanjali described?
Yeah, he talked about yoga. How's yoga? Asana, yama niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, dhyana, srivana, samadhi. Last stage is samadhi. So what is that stage of samadhi for the yogi?
Giving up mental.
That samadhi is described by Patanjali Yoga Sutra. It's only in the mode of goodness. It's not transcendental. Unless they have a touch of bhakti, they can't get liberated by yoga process. They're just doing Ashtanga Yoga as it is, as described in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. They'll just come to the mode of goodness. They're fixed in the mode of goodness. Immersed in the bliss of meditation, but they don't get liberation unless they have some bhakti. It's not beyond the gunas. But Vyasadeva's samadhi was transcendental because he was meditating on Krishna. The object is transcendence. And he saw the pastimes of Krishna. It says in verse 4, chapter 7, the darshan of Krishna. Apashyat Purusham Puram Mayam Apashraya. He saw Krishna. Now page 264. Read the verse in translation. 7.
यस्यां वै श्रूयमानानां कृष्णे परमपुरुषे भक्तिरुत्पद्यते पुंसा शोकमोहभयापहा. By hearing Bhagavatam, bhakti for Krishna appears. Hearing it also destroys lamentation, illusion and fear in the human beings.
There you go. Nice. So Krishna becomes captured in the heart by hearing Bhagavatam. That's why every Gaudiya Vaishnava always stresses hearing and studying Bhagavatam all the time. It's a magic book. Just by reading it every day, meditating on it, you're directly associated with Krishna. Just by hearing Bhagavatam, Krishna appears. It's not very difficult yoga. Just have to keep your eyes open and turn the pages. One fine day I'll turn the pages and see Krishna. So then, he describes how Shukadeva became attracted to Vaishnavas. Page 268. He was absorbed in samadhi, yogic samadhi, Shukadeva. Absorbed in trance. But he became attracted when he heard the Bhagavatam. Read this last the paragraph 269. Yes.
Vyasa made Sukadeva, who was in continual trance in a lonely forest, here selected verse from the Bhagavatam which describe Krishna's qualities through some of his followers. By the power of those verses, his trance was broken. His mind attracted to the sweetness broke the trance. Knowing these verses were from Bhagavatam because of his omniscience, and knowing that his father was the source of revealing those verses, he went to Vyasa and learned Bhagavatam. This story is told in Brahmavaivarta Purana. After conquering father and son, Vyasa and Sukadeva, crest jewels of Brahman realization, Bhakti made them like an umbrella which gives relief to the whole world. Those who do not consider Bhakti in this way, being led astray, are like thieves who deserve the punishment of Yama.
The chapter goes on to describe Ashwatthama, how he killed the sons of the 5 sleeping sons of the Pandavas. And everyone was upset and disturbed by that. Even the Kauravas were not happy with it. And Krishna and Arjuna caught Ashwatthama. He wanted to kill him. Very interesting story. But he didn't, he spared him. Because Ashwatthama wasn't killed by Arjuna. Why?
Because he was son of teacher, Guru.
Because he's a Brahmin. Brahmins are not to be killed. So Ashwatthama threw a Brahmastra weapon. And then Arjuna threw his Brahmastra weapon. They were fighting. And Draupadi told Arjuna not to kill him. Read page 284, purport. And summarize the whole thing. 284.
Though incited by Krishna, who was testing Arjuna's sense of justice, Arjuna did not want to kill him, even though he had killed his son, because he was intelligent. he knew the nature of Krishna. Krishna's nature is that, though he is omniscient, he tests the devotees in this way in order to show their sense of justice to others. He tests Arjuna, possessor of Dharma, by showing Veera and Rautra rasas when he says you should not release him. In the same way, he tested gopis, possessors of Prema, by showing Karma and Jnana in such verses as Bharta Sushrushakam, Sri Nam Paro Dharmaha. The highest religious duty for a woman is to sincerely serve her husband. You are never actually separated from me, for I am soul of all creation. I am the beginning and end of all created beings and exist both within and without them. He also tested Prithu, Prahlada and others who were filled with devotion by showing or promising enjoyment and powers to them. You may therefore ask from me any benediction you like, dear Prithu. It is my pastime to fulfill the desires of all living beings, and therefore you may ask from me any benediction that you desire to be fulfilled. Though I offer these benedictions, they do not accept these quotations. Even his Siddha devotees test others. Thus Sukadev tests Parikshit Maharaj. In the 6th canto, he tests his knowledge of Siddhanta when he speaks of regular atonements, when Parikshit asks the methods of getting free from sin. In the 9th canto, Sukadev tests Parikshit's eagerness for Krishna's pastimes by summarizing those pastimes. And in 12th canto, he tests his steadiness in bhakti by talking of Brahmajnana. The real meaning is not always in the directly observed events.
Draupadi told Arjuna to release Ashwatthama. So the merciful nature of a woman spared Ashwatthama. Because Draupadi didn't want Ashwatthama's mother to cry, like she was crying at the loss of her 5 sons. She didn't want the same misery to happen to Ashwatthama's mother. So she told Arjuna not to kill her. No volume. Right. It's working?
Now it is working.
It's waiting. Right. Okay. I think that's the way. So that's chapter 7. Krishna explains to everyone, one should not kill a fallen Brahmin, but an aggressor should be killed. Please follow both these instructions established in Scripture made by me. So what Arjuna did, he didn't kill him, but he cut his hair. He took his sword and cut parts of his hair off here and there. He took the jewel of his turban. That way he cut his pride. So they say, dishonor is worse than death. So he dishonored Ashwatthama by disfiguring him, but he didn't kill him. It says in text 57, the method of killing a fallen Brahmin is to shave his head, take away his wealth, or take away his living place. But one should not physically kill a Brahmin. So that's how the chapter ends. Then chapter 8 is Kunti's prayers and Yudhishthira's grief. Any questions so far? Did anyone read chapter 8 already? I don't think so. I think I said read chapters 3 to 5. So chapter 8, 8 and 9 we'll do next Saturday. Chapter 9 is... So any questions? Enrique, you have Prasad?
Yes.
Okay, that's it for class. We'll have class again next Saturday. Chapter 8 and 9. Try to read that. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.